Hi, I'm Dawn, and I am channeling the light. I am a psychic medium and channel for source consciousness, for source energy, for ascended masters, archangels. And today, Spirit wanted me to come and share my experience with Mother Mary. I have been working with her for several years now, but the first time I really met her and had an experience with her is what they want me to share with you. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am a Reiki master teacher. And at this point, I was right between Reiki 1, getting ready to go into Reiki 2. So my person and I had gone camping, and we used to do this all the time, camp so much. And there was one particular place that we would go to that was actually right on the water. And there was a stream that went right behind our campsite. And I'll actually go ahead and post some pictures later for you guys to see where that is. So we are, camping there. We've set up camp. We've been here for a day or so already, and we go to bed. So for those of you that have heard when I'm visited by either like Jesus or Mother Mary or, other archangels or source, what happens is time will stop for me. And it's not that it stops for me, but for everything around me. Everything will just go very quiet. I am awake and having the experience, but it just seems like everything around me is sort of frozen or just stopped. And that's what happened on this evening. We went to sleep, and I just, was just very happy and wasn't really tired yet, but I loved laying there listening to the water. So the back of the tent, where where the mattress is against sort of that side of the tent, is a window, and it was very cool. It was in the fall. We had the window open, and I was sort of just laying on my stomach, looking out the screen. He was, my person was just sleeping next to me, and I was just looking out the window at the water, and I noticed a woman on the other side of the water, and she came across the water, sort of glided across the water, came up the hill a little bit. And before I go any further, let me just say, when I have these experiences, sometimes the things that happen in them, you would say, or I get a lot of questions like, why didn't you think that was weird? Why didn't that scare you? I don't know. It's like on some level, I already know them, and it just seems very normal and comfortable to me. In that moment, I'm not really thinking, oh, she's gliding across the water, or, oh, this person is coming out of the light, or everything is frozen. Like, it doesn't occur to me. I don't think about it. So, she glides up the hill, and I roll over onto my back. And as I do, she appears right in front of me. I didn't see her come through the tent. It was just, she came up the hill. She was sort of even with the front door of our tent, which was zipped and locked. And as I rolled over, she was just there. She looked just like, the biblical, pictures of Mother Mary. And I remember that she was in this blue and white. And sort of like the white also was sort of like mixed with a baby blue, gown. And, she had, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like the hood over her. And I remember that just like the time in the other story where the first time I saw Jesus and his clothes were sort of blowing, so were hers. And I don't know why I have this habit of sort of looking at their feet. I don't know, but I did look over. I sat up when I saw her and just noticed that her gown was blowing. So she said hello to me, and she was holding a blue energy ball, a cobalt blue energy ball that was spinning. And as it was spinning, I could see the cobalt blue swirling with like sparks of silver. And it was almost like diamond-like, but so beautiful. She told me first that I was loved, so loved. And she said, take this. And she held her hands out with the energy ball, which was she was holding in both of her hands. And I remember saying, what is it? And she said, again, take this. For one day, it will heal many, and it may save your life. And I said, well, what do I do with it? And then she took the energy ball and sort of came forward with her hands and pushed it into my chest. And she said, now you are the keeper of the light. And she said that she's always with me, that I was very loved. She said she would be with me on my journey. And I remember her saying, your soul is so beautiful, and just to trust this journey. And that was something that Jesus had also said to me the first time I saw him. And for those of you that don't know about this, you know, as a very young teenager, I had a vision, an encounter with Jesus, where he appeared to me and told me of something that would happen, but he also told me that my journey was starting. And, you know, obviously this is, you know, many years later between these two, but she's still talking about, you know, she's with me on this journey. And then it was like, I knew she was gonna leave. She didn't speak like with her mouth. Everything was like telepathic. And then she told me again, you are never alone. I am always with you, and you are so loved. She said it a few times, and then she just disappeared. She just faded and disappeared. And just like it was the most normal thing in the world to see this woman appear in my tent, I just laid down and just went to sleep and slept the most like deepest, wonderful sleep. And it's funny because when I'm visited at night, it seems like that's what happens. I just fall into sleep, like it's just the most normal thing. But the next morning, I woke up and, you know, my person was making breakfast, and I just came running out of the tent, you know, because he got up before me. And I said, oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe what happened last night. And he was like, what? And I said, Mother Mary was here last night. I knew that he didn't see her because I knew he was asleep, but I don't know. I think part of me was hoping that he kind of woke up like during it, but I said, did you see her? And he said, I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? Mother Mary was here. So I told him what happened. And, you know, I really expected him not to believe me, but he was just like, I didn't see it. I don't know. He said, it's, you know, I believe you. And, you know, if this happened to you, it happened. And, you know, like, I can't believe it. And since then, there's been so many that, you know, I think my family is just like, oh, okay, she had another visitation, or, oh, okay, this happened now, you know. But after that happened, I was really focused on, you know, what is this blue light? Like, what is it? And I don't think I don't think this was the blue light, because now the blue light has been activated within me, and it's more like on the blue light crystalline level and the crystalline body. But I started noticing that when I would have a Reiki session with a client, that sometimes she would come and she would work with this energy, this blue energy, and she would channel it through me, or she would channel it through me and show me how to work with it, and then say, no, you do it, and I could sort of access this energy without using my own energy. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but anyone that works as a vessel for healing with energy work, you'll know what I'm talking about. You're channeling, life force energy through you, or source energy for those that do work with source energy. And you're not using your own energy. You're calling this other energy in that's coming in through your crown, going through your heart chakra, and then coming out your hands, or other places on your body. And this was a little different, because sometimes I could call it in, and then other times I could access it. And it was only in the beginning, very rare, that she would let me access the one that was within me. But when I did have to use it, it was for like a big reason. And she began to bring who I call the doctors. I don't really know who they are, but many in my Reiki community, if you know, please share in the comments. But they are light beings that when they appear to me, they will have like surgical masks on, and I would be working with a client. They would come through, and Mother Mary would say, I would see her come forward, and she would say, we're going to work with the light today. And I would know that she meant we're accessing this light, and probably the doctors are coming to work. And what would happen is they would ask me to step back, but to keep the channel open, and to keep, channeling the energy that I was channeling, the life force energy, and keep doing that. And I would see them work over the person, to work on them, sometimes working with this light. And sometimes she would ask me to channel that light with Reiki. She started to teach me which they do teach you in Reiki, but this was a little different. It was, the colors on these lights of energy were just a little different. They were more sparkly. I don't even know how to, really explain it, but I know that my energy workers out there, you know what I'm talking about. To start swirling the energies, and to start creating colors with them, like a lighter green, or a deeper blue, or a solid orange or something. And when you're working with energy healing, you are working with color. When you're working in the chakras, and you'll visualize that energy, and you'll call in that color. This was like, it was different. It was using the energy of source with it, from Mother Mary. And since then, she works a lot with me, and now she's helping me to channel. She's been coming in visitations to show me other things that would happen from other dimensions. And she's not saying to share the whole thing, but I feel like I have to say something about it. But it was how you can be accessed, or how our loved ones can access us and see us, and communicate with us, and know that we're okay. in a way that I did not know they could do. That was just so amazing and just instantaneously. And really, I started learning about this as Spirit was asking me to step away for a moment from Reiki healing. And it was something I really fought for a long time, because I just felt so just called to be a vessel for healing and to, you know, help Source with this and help just as many people as I could. And it was really hard to walk away from that, but I understood that the next phase of my journey had started, and I was being called to do something higher, which actually was channeling. I started channeling during my Reiki sessions. And I remember asking my other Reiki friends and other practitioners, are you channeling these people? Are you talking to other entities? Are you talking to ascended masters? And they would say, yes, they are, but I don't know. It was just, they would come, I would, hear the messages that they had for the people, and sometimes they just started saying, we're going to work. Is it okay if we work through you? They always asked permission, which I always gave, because I knew it was for the highest good of the person. And I would always let my clients know beforehand that this was a possibility, it could happen, and make sure it was fine with them. And when it was going to happen, when these people would step forward, I would always let them know that, okay, this might feel a little bit different, or you might feel this, is this going to happen? But then they would channel Source energy through me, or angelic energy through me, and speaking through me, using my voice to communicate with the clients. And sometimes, it wasn't really sometimes, it was like 90% of the time, I just would not remember what happened. I just didn't really have a memory of the channeling. I knew I was channeling, but whatever the messages were, I didn't know what it was. I couldn't really remember most of it. And, the clients would come back and, maybe they weren't following the directions or the advice Spirit gave them. And they would say, oh, you said that to me. But I really would have no memory of it, saying that or repeating it again. But, and then it was getting louder and louder, the call to step away. I noticed that I started jumping timelines. I had this incredible experience with Mother Mary, and then just an even more incredible experience, with Source, and where he came to me. And for me, it feels Source felt very masculine to me. And the times that he's come to me, it feels very masculine to me. But for others, it might feel feminine, and that's okay. We all have a different viewpoint, and it's however you interpret the frequency. It has on occasion felt not male, not female before, but most of the time it comes through as male for me. And then with goddesses and being initiated, and just really having a flood of memories come through from past lives to how to work with abilities that I did not know that I had. And just to sort of touch on that, I was working with a spirit guide, and he had told me to lay out make a protective circle, and I did. And he told me to step into the circle, and when I did, the energy in the circle was just flooded with consciousness and just this download. And I remember that I started to sort of move like with the energy, and just in this strange way, just my arms were moving, my legs were moving, my head was moving, my torso was moving, just everything, but in this slow kind of energetic way, which was just really beautiful. And I said, what is happening to me? And he said, my dear, you are remembering. And I said, remembering what? And he said, you are remembering your past life when you were a Tai Chi master. And after that happened, I remembered some of the moves, because I didn't know anything about Tai Chi. I knew nothing about it. I knew it was, I knew what it was, but I just didn't know. I'd never studied it, so I just had really no information about it, deeper than what it was. And I started looking it up. I was looking up videos, because there were certain moves I was doing that I was trying to I don't know if it was that I was trying to convince myself this was real, or this was not me making it up. And I found those moves, and it just was so amazing, just so wonderful and so amazing. But so that happened, with it. And with my Reiki business, those things were happening, and I just wasn't listening at all to stepping away. I just did not know what my identity was going to be without this. And eventually, and you'll know, those of you that know when Spirit is sort of nudging you to do something, and you're like, no, I know better, Spirit, which, so funny. So funny we think we know better. But, Spirit will let you do it, when you keep saying no. And then they'll step in and they'll say, okay, we've given you just this chance. And now, we're going to do it our way because you're not listening. So they sort of just put an end to it. And it stopped so abruptly. And it wasn't that I couldn't channel the energy or anything like that. It wasn't that. It was just that they wanted me to step away from my business, and that being my full-time business. And I did. The business stopped. Everything came to a halt. Just my community stopped. My friendships stopped. My clients stopped. Just everything to do with it stopped. And I also noticed that I wasn't really as drawn to the Reiki anymore as I was drawn to this new awakening that was happening with me. And it was really kind of bittersweet, but at the same time amazing. I was a little unsure and sad about leaving this business that I just felt like I had just built from the ground and really felt comfortable in, to this really journey of the unknown, but something that was just so amazing and so wonderful, and some things that I just have no words for. But one of the things in that journey was channeling. And, if it wasn't for the Reiki, I probably would not have understood the channeling. And I probably wouldn't have understood what was happening, or how to listen to Spirit, how to work with the energy, how to tune into the energy, how to read energy, how to feel the energy, how to communicate with the energy, which led to being able to, hear Spirit more clearly, and to trust, and to allow those messages to come through, and the channeling to come through and learning to sort of step aside and let them speak through me. And, you know, I think I probably knew something was really different when God or Source would come through during a session, which it was usually during group sessions. And, you know, he would say, will you allow me to work through you? And then obviously I would give permission, you know, yes. And the energy would flow through me, which felt much different than Reiki. It was not Reiki energy. And I really feel like they were priming me for this, because when I first started channeling Source energy, I noticed I was kind of like achy the next day, like only in the area where it would come through, though, you know, through my crown chakra, my neck, through my heart space, my chest area, and just down my arms were so achy. And it would just last a few days. And then the next time it would happen, but not as much, you know. And that's when I also noticed that the crystalline light body was turning on, and that I was seeing the light from Mother Mary that she had given me. So I still feel like I'm a vessel for healing. I'm just a different vessel right now, you know, instead of, you know, channeling Reiki or, you know, Source, which they told me I'm still going to be doing, just differently and outside of my business now. But I'm also a vessel for healing with my voice and, you know, creating and helping those step into their light and to awaken and understand their gifts. So I'm really blessed, and I just feel so grateful for all of the experiences I've had with Spirit, and I'm so excited to share them with you. And if, you know, there's a story that I have sort of mentioned or tapped on, or that you know of that, you know, you want me to share, please let me know in the comments. And if any of these, you know, things that I was talking about today, if you've experienced them, please share that in the comments. And I would love to hear it, and I'd love to share your stories also. So that's really the story, and that's where we are now. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you, you know, I hope that touched your heart and your soul and your light. And I'm just hearing from Source, you are so loved. You are so loved. And that is for all of you. You are so loved. And you're so blessed. And, you know, Source is so grateful for you. And there may be days that this journey might seem really hard. It might seem really difficult. But just remember, baby steps are steps too. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest. And it's okay that you don't understand something. You know, give yourself time to figure it out and to, you know, step into your light and really embrace it. And certainly this community that we have here, you know, it's just so great. And we're all here to help. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for stopping by today and for sharing my story. And if you know someone that would like to hear this story, I would love if you share it with them. I would love for you to subscribe, and hopefully you like this video, and please come back. I love you, and I hope you have the best day ever. See you soon.